Hey everyone, it's Shea. Welcome to or back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I make videos about productivity, motivation, language learning, photography, and a few other things that I'm really interested in and I want to teach all of you. So today I want to talk about mindset, motivation, productivity, and how those all affect one another, because I firmly believe that a lot of the things that I've accomplished have been a result of working on my mindset, growing my mindset, and finding different ways to be more productive. So I wanted to first off talk about the different mindsets, how you can shift your mindset, and then later on in the video give you some specific actions and things you can try to be more productive. So that way, if you want to help fight procrastination or finally get around to try something that you've been wanting to for a while, hopefully these steps will help you actually pursue those goals and those things that you want to try. So before we jump into this video, I would love for you to take a moment and think about some sort of goal or intention that you have been wanting to try or work towards, but you just haven't. So maybe there's something that you've always wanted to do, but you've been stuck in the planning stages, or you've just never taken the action that you need to actually get to where you want to be. And I'm going to be talking about so many different things in this video, so if you want, I highly recommend to take a notebook and jot down some notes, or I will also have a little workbook down below with the prompts of the different parts of this video, and you can fill those out, and then you have like a little worksheet and stuff that you can use later on. So yeah, let's dive right in. So I've been reading a lot recently, and one of the books that I picked up was about mindsets, and it's by Carol Dweck, who's done a ton of research and studies on the different mindsets. I'll link the book down below because it's really, really great and seriously has inspired me so much. But basically in the book, she talks about the two different mindsets that people can have: the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. A fixed mindset assumes that our character, intelligence, and creative ability are static givens, which we can't change in any meaningful way. And success is the affirmation of that inherent intelligence, an assessment of how those givens measure up against an equally fixed standard. Striving for success and avoiding failure at all costs become a way of maintaining the sense of being smart or skilled. A growth mindset, on the other hand, thrives on challenge and sees failure not as evidence of unintelligence, but as a heartening springboard for growth and for stretching our existing abilities. To break that down, basically, a fixed mindset believes that all of your abilities are fixed and cannot be changed no matter how much you try. So people with a fixed mindset can actually fall into a pretty dangerous trap of feeling like they are as good as they're going to be for the rest of their life and there's no changing that. So when they do meet a challenge that they don't think they can do, they usually have the mentality of it's better to not try than to fail, because people in a fixed mindset want to be successful all the time. People in a fixed mindset thrive on being the most successful at whatever they're doing. Whereas a growth mindset, on the other hand, believes that any challenge is an opportunity for growth. They see failures as a way to change their strategy and be better for next time. So they never look at a challenge and say, ooh, I don't think I can do that, so I'm not going to try. They will look at a challenge and say, oh, I know that's going to be tough, but it's definitely something that I can grow and learn from. The crazy thing about these mindsets is that they actually start to develop around as early as age 4. And then as you grow older, they just continue to manifest with those specific growth or fixed mindsets. And the thing is, you can have different mindsets in different aspects of your life. For me personally, I feel like I have a growth mindset as far as my intelligence and how much I can learn and read, and learning a new language is very growth mindset oriented. Whereas some things about my personality I feel like are very fixed. I grew up being pretty shy and pretty reserved, and so I feel like I've carried that with me and kind of just accepted that I will always be more of a shy, reserved person. So I feel like as far as my personality, I'm very fixed in that. Whereas I believe that my intelligence and some other things, I can grow and I can learn and evolve. But that's also not to say that you can't change. You can definitely do work to change your mindset. And a lot of people may be thinking, oh my God, I think I have a fixed mindset. Like, you do realize that. Like, I definitely realized that growing up, and especially it's very apparent in school. Actually, in the book that I was reading, they did an experiment with young kids. I mean, these are like elementary school kids. And they gave all the kids the same exact math test. It was pretty easy. The kids did well. They all got A's. Then they asked the kids Would you rather try a harder test, or would you take a test that's equally as easy? Now, what they noticed is that kids with a fixed mindset opted to take the test that was just as easy because they knew they could succeed in that test. They knew they could get another A because it wasn't a challenge for them, and they felt comfortable knowing that they would do well in that test. Whereas kids with the growth mindset were like, oh, I want to try a different test. Like, I want to see what it's like. I want to try to challenge myself. That is a perfect example of the growth versus the fixed mindset. Once I got out of school, and especially probably within like the last year or so, with learning a language, it's really opened me up to realize that I did have a fixed mindset. So that's definitely an example that you can change your mindset. Like, it's not stuck in stone, because if you believe that it's stuck, then you have a fixed mindset about a fixed mindset. Like, so if you're wondering how to break through that, for me, learning a new language was amazing for that, for so many different reasons. One, being patient with my learning process, because a language especially is gonna be very frustrating at times. Like, there are gonna be so many times where you think, oh, this is a waste, like I'm just never gonna learn this. There have been plenty of times I wanted to give up, and I'm being honest with you. Like, I know a lot of you watch me for inspiration and motivation, and that's actually a huge part of why I keep going sometimes. Like, you are definitely my motivation. Also, for the longest time, I was procrastinating speaking with a tutor because of my fixed mindset. I was worried, oh, I'm not gonna be perfect, I'm not gonna be great, I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. But then once I started switching my mindset, I was like, wait, my Italian teacher is there to help me. She's not gonna be like, wow, you're wrong, you said this wrong, you're so bad. Like, it is a learning experience, and making mistakes is how you grow and you learn. Like, if you're already good at something, then why would you be trying to learn it? If you're already at the top, there's no learning process in that, there's nowhere to go. So I would find myself being stuck in that mindset until finally I was like, you know what, I'm gonna book an appointment with a tutor and just go for it. And it was scary. I mean, the first time I was like, oh no, I'm so bad. And I did realize afterwards, I was like, wait, I'm a lot worse than I thought I was. But I kept convincing myself, I was like, no, but this is good. Like, this is the step that you needed to take. And now I've taken more lessons with her, and I do feel accomplished knowing that I'm growing, even though I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, that's the other thing, is learning a language just helps you realize that failures make you grow. If you haven't seen my other language learning videos, I highly recommend checking those out, and definitely consider starting to learn a new language. You always have to evolve if you want something to change. I mean, the times are always changing, things are always changing, you have to evolve and adapt. And the people who are stuck in their fixed mindset aren't going to get very far. Whereas the people who are in the growth mindset, who are working through things all the time, are going to succeed. And that's just the truth. So I highly recommend, if you feel like you have a fixed mindset, don't freak out. But there are little steps you can take to help like reprogram your brain to approach situations with a different outlook than you normally had. Instead of seeing something like, oh, I'm not gonna try this because I know I won't be good at it, say, I'm gonna try it and I'm probably gonna make mistakes, but that's gonna help me. And again, that's why I recommend language learning. I wanted to talk about ways that I have been more productive and have been able to study Italian for hours or edit a video for hours, and give you guys some resources and ideas about how you can also help increase your productivity. So one of the things I've been doing every morning now is doing some meditation. So when I wake up in the morning, I reach over for my phone and I have a playlist on Spotify of different morning meditations. They're all under 10 minutes, or maybe they go up to 12 minutes. I will just lie back down in my bed and listen to a meditation before I even start my day. And it actually has helped me so much. I feel way more refreshed and ready to take on the day. Another tip is to find out what time of day is your most productive time. So for me, I know I'm way more productive in the morning. When I wake up, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work on something. So that is when I do all of my important stuff. Whereas I know some people love working late at night. Like, they get an extra energy boost and they're ready to work late at night. Another thing that's really been helping me is listening to cafe noises. So what I've been doing is actually searching cafe noises on YouTube, and it's really cool because they have videos of, you know, just background music, but also the sound of like people chatting and the sounds of the baristas making coffee, or like the coffee cups clinking together and stuff. And I actually found that having that noise makes me more focused. And because a lot of us are in lockdown and we can't go to coffee shops anymore, or maybe we're just starting to kind of open up again, I miss sitting in a coffee shop, so that's actually really helped me. I think that having any kind of music in your ears while you're working actually helps you really get into the zone because it doesn't allow your mind to wander anywhere else. So I found that having music or any sort of sound, whether it's rain sound, like a crackling fire sound, really helps me. So if you've never tried that, definitely try it. Another thing you can do to fight procrastination is try what's known as the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Basically what it is you think about something you want to do and you count down from 5 and make a decision right then and there. So you think about something, let's say, okay, I should study Italian. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I'm going to study Italian. I'm going to do it right now. You don't give yourself enough time for the slow acting part of your brain to interject in your idea. So this fast acting decision, you decide right then and there, and then you have to do it, because if you don't act on that decision, then you're probably not going to do it. So then if I said, yes, I am going to study Italian right now, then I would get up and open my books and start studying. If something pops into your brain, give yourself 5 seconds to decide whether or not you're going to do it, or just do it right then and there, like, you know, whatever you can. That way you're not going back and forth of like, should I do it? Should I not do it? What are reasons I should do it? What are reasons I shouldn't do it? Because then that's just such a waste of time, and that's how you end up procrastinating. Another way to achieve your most gloriously motivated self is to achieve what's known as flow. And you might have heard of this before, because I know a lot of people talk about it, and for me, I watch so many YouTubers who are all about productivity and flow and all that kind of stuff. So what is flow? Flow is often described as a mental state in which people experience complete immersion and involvement in an activity. You lose track of time because you're so immersed in the task that you're working on. So this usually happens when your skill level is perfectly aligned to the task or challenge at hand. Basically, think of it like the perfect challenge, where it's a little bit above your skill level, but you have the means and the ability to meet that challenge. So that way it's not too hard that you get frustrated, but not too easy that you're not even interested or engaged. There are also different factors that determine whether or not you can reach this flow state, but don't think of it as something that's super hard to get into. You've definitely probably experienced it in your lifetime and may not even have realized it. Basically, it's like whenever you're doing something that you've done for hours at a time and not even realize the time that's gone by. So for me, that's like I can study Italian for a few hours, or I can be editing a video. I'll edit videos sometimes for like a whole afternoon. Yes, they take a long time, and not even realize it. Like I won't even take a break to eat lunch, and by the time I like snap out of that flow state, I'm like, whoa, I'm starving, I need to eat. But during it, I was so engrossed in editing the video and just like making sure that it gets done, making sure it looks good, that I totally lost track of time. And I was like totally set on finishing it. So that brings me to my next point of achieving flow, is making sure that you're working on a task that has a specific end goal. So that way when you're working on something, you know what you're working towards. So for everyone who's here regarding language learning, that would mean like setting a few activities that you know you want to do during your language study time and working through those. Because if you're like, okay, I think I just want to read today, at least set a guideline of like, I want to read a whole chapter today, or I want to read this chapter and understand 70% of it. Like set some sort of goal for yourself. You also want to avoid any sort of interruptions or distractions, because you'll just snap out of the flow state or just never fully get into it. So when I study, I put my phone on do not disturb so I don't get any notifications, and I put it on the other side of the room so that way I don't have like the screen lighting up and distracting me. I put my laptop on do not disturb, and that way I'm just totally engrossed in the moment of what I'm doing. And you also want to make sure that the activity that you're doing is intrinsically rewarding. You're way more likely to get into the flow state if you're an artist and you're working on a new painting and you just like work on it for hours. If, you know, like me, editing a video and you just work on it for hours because you have this end goal that you're almost there, and it's very rewarding because you know how you'll feel once you complete that project. Another tip I have is just being patient with yourself, because sometimes you just won't want to do any work, and sometimes you won't want to do anything, and that's okay. I have those days too. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I am productive all the time. I'm studying, I'm reading. I never just watch Netflix for a whole day or something like that. Like that definitely happens to me too. And I think everyone needs to be a little bit more patient and understanding with themselves. Whenever I have some sort of motivation to study or to write or to do something, I act on that right away. because I know that if I have that feeling right now, then I definitely want to jump on that and take advantage of that moment of inspiration or moment of motivation. So I highly recommend listening to your intuition, listening to yourself, really taking advantage of the times where you naturally do feel really motivated. So if you're gonna take anything from this video, I really want you to remember what I said about mindset and remember that it's okay to not immediately be the best. Learning and growing comes from making mistakes. And you can take it from me, I'm such a perfectionist that I was so scared of being bad at something for the longest time. And I truly think that learning a language has seriously helped me so much with that. So that is it for my tips for this video. Again, like I said, I will put all resources, books, little worksheets and stuff down below in the description. But before you go, I just wanted to say also thank you so much for all the love that I've seen on my past videos, my language learning videos specifically. It's really, really nice for me to get comments from you guys saying how much I've inspired you to start a new language or pick up a language that you've previously learned. I feel so happy when I know that I'm motivating people out there, and being able to inspire someone makes me so happy. So if I have inspired you in some way, please let me know, because I respond to all the comments and I definitely hear you and I see you, and you guys are all just so wonderful. So thank you so much. I will definitely be posting some more language learning videos soon. I have some really exciting ones coming up actually. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already and like this video, because it really helps me out. And I will see you all in my next video. So bye guys.